Okay, so what we have here is a Pioneer CT-F900. I just got it a few days ago, was just listening to it, connected to the stereo, and it started to shut off. You know, the tape would stop playing. So what I think is happening is I think that the idler tire is not taking up the slack, or it could be one of the belts. Okay, because I didn't change any of the belts. All right. The only thing I did to this deck was straighten out the bent frame and clean and lube it and stuff like that. And give everything some rubber renew. Just normal service stuff. Giving stuff some deoxit, stuff like that. But we have a belt kit right here from turntablesneedles.com. It's actually not a belt kit. I bought these individually. We have a fat belt medium, or sorry about that, a flat belt medium, 10.5 inch. We have a flat belt small, 7.0. Those two are for the flywheels. Then we have a square belt medium, 2.5 inch. And then we have a square belt reel, 4.2 inch. So these two smaller belts will be for the front of the mechanism in here, which we'll get to later on. So underneath the deck, there's 3 screws for the face, 2 screws underneath the mechanism. Okay? The lid, there's 3 screws on each side. Okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so with the top off, there's 3 screws right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay? When you lift this face off of here, be very careful. Underneath of here, there's a plastic thing you have to hold up with your fingers when you bring this face off, or you will break that. Okay? It holds the cassette tape in. So make sure you lift up on that real carefully when you take this face off. Okay, so I'm going to pop these 3 screws, get the face off. I'll be back. Okay, with the face off, this is what I was talking about. You do not want to break it. Okay, be very careful with that. All right, so my apologies for the blinking light. It was a gift from a friend. Alrighty then. So I have to prop this up on something to see why that idler tire right there is not taking up the slack. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so if you look closely inside the cassette here, you can see the tape is starting to, the take-up wheel is not keeping up with the capstan shaft. Okay, so we press a little rewind. Okay, so if I would have let that continue, it would have ate the tape. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, after removing this plastic piece here, take your time, be careful, don't break it. Okay, so I'm going to remove this brake assembly right here. Okay, To do that, you just push up on it and unhook the spring here in the center. Okay. I'm not going to be able to do this and hold the phone at the same time. But this just lifts up. Okay. And you have to unhook the spring. Oh, the spring has to go downward. Okay, like that. Okay. So you unhook the spring from its little keeper there. Okay. Now this thing's free to move. Okay. So you just take your time and wiggle it out of here. Okay. So, because it's in these grooves right here. Okay. So I'll be right back. Okay. So what I think might be the problem here. Okay. If you look very closely, there's a belt connected to this that runs the idler tire. Okay. This mechanism's moving very nicely. That light bulb gets hot. Be careful. Okay. So this rubber belt right here goes from this reel motor, or from this pulley to this reel motor right here. That belt is very flimsy. Okay. And that's what I've been worried about since I bought this deck, is these old belts in here. Okay. So that would seem to be the problem, is the belts are going to shit. I increased that diameter of that idler tire, okay, by taking it off and then putting some two-way sticky tape around the pulley and then putting the idler tire back on after reconditioning it with rubber renew. Okay. Now I can make the idler tire a little bigger if I want to, but I don't think that's the problem right now. I think that this belt that's supposed to be running the idler tire, I think it's not worth a shit and it ain't keeping up. I'm going to try to change this belt right now without taking anything else apart. Okay. So if I can just get this belt off of here, right like that. Okay. Maybe I can fish it out of here. But I'm going to turn it off and unplug it because I don't want to get fucking zapped, or I don't want to fry anything on the deck. Okay, so that's the last thing I want to do, is get fried. Okay, so I'm going to try to fish this out of here and then put a new one in. I'll be back. Okay, so that belt came right out with some tweezers. Here's the old belt. There's the new belt. Okay? It's a pretty big difference. So, hopefully I can get that new one in there. It's so misshapen, they don't even look the same. It's all fucked up. So, I'll be back. Okay, so that new belt is in there, okay, with a pair of tweezers. You can see it in there, right in here, around that pulley and around this motor, okay. I gave that idler tire some rubber renew. I'm going to clean this pulley right here with some alcohol. So, this other belt in here, this skinny ass belt, difficult to see, but it goes around this and it goes up here, and there's a little pulley right here. Okay. And that's for that sensor. Okay. Which shuts the cassette deck off. Okay, that belt, it's there, but it looks like it's in pretty bad shape. It's real loose and it's on the verge of just falling apart. All right. So I'm going to fish that belt out of there also. And put another one in it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so it's still doing the same thing. Okay. After changing that little rubber belt. All right. After giving that idler tire some rubber renew. So my guess is I'm going to have to increase the diameter of the idler tire again. Okay? Because clearly it's not big enough if it's not doing the fucking job. All right? So I might have to order a brand new idler tire. I don't know. So it seems to rewind and fast forward. So I'll be back. Now this other belt don't look any better. Getting that new one in there is going to be kind of a bitch. So it goes around here and around the little pulley in there. So I'll be back. Now that's what the new one looks like. And that's the old one. I'll be right back. Okay, now in order to get both of these belts in here is a royal pain in the asshole. So I had to take both of these switches off. Okay? Actually, all three of them. Okay? So this little bracket goes back here. This one goes here. This one will go here. Okay. So that's the only way to get down inside there to hook those belts on those pulleys. Once you get the little belt hooked onto its pulley, the best way to get it to go around that spindle right there is a skinny paper clip. Okay, because it'll travel all the way around that wheel. Don't try to get anything else bigger than that in there, because it just won't fit and you'll just get all fucking mad. Okay? This switch uses longer screws and it has this little plastic plate underneath of it. Okay? The other switch does not. It has smaller screws and the little metal plate has a black screw. Okay, so you put the metal plate on first, then you put this switch back on. So that's what I got to do now. Put these two switches back on. Now that there's new belts in there, okay, maybe it won't eat a tape. If it does eat the tape, then I got to take that idler tire off and make it bigger. Okay? Which I really didn't want to do, but that's what I might have to do. So, I'll be back when I connect these switches back up. Okay, so it looks to me like this idler tire has to be increased in diameter. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother to remove the C-clip. I'm going to remove the idler tire while it's in there. And then I'm going to put some two-way sticky tape around that plastic wheel there on the inside of it. Increase the diameter by at least 1 millimeter. Okay, so that's a royal pain in the ass. But at least in this video, you learned that you can change both of these belts in here without having to remove the mechanism and taking every layer apart. Okay, just remove these switches. Take your time. Use some tweezers and a paper clip. Okay, and you can change them switches, or I mean those two small belts. This one here, which was a 4.2 inch square belt reel. This one here was a square belt medium 2.5 inch. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this idler tire, increase the diameter of that plastic wheel, clean this all up, and give it another shot. So that'll be another video. This video has gotten very long. So hit that like and subscribe button. Hopefully you learned something. What I learned today is this is a pain in the ass. So my guess is that idler tire is not going high enough. It's not big enough. Since nothing's spinning, it's just automatically shutting off. So, but that's enough of this video. I got shit to do. Talk to you later. Have a good day.